So, a fresh new week has arrived, and here on this channel, that means one thing and one thing only. Every weekend, I post an episode of the series we do called Your Take Not Mine, where I turn to you, the viewers, to give me your hottest NBA takes of the week, based on what's going on at the time, and I then choose my favorite submissions and discuss them in a video. This week, we've arrived at the Final Four of March Madness after a wild ride to get there. The NBA regular season is approaching its end, and we saw some big names return to the court from injury, so we definitely have plenty to discuss. In order to submit your takes, I make a community post on either the day of or the day before the video, similar to the one that you see on your screen now. So if you want a chance to be featured in a future episode, be sure to stay on the lookout for that. Before we start though, I want to thank PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. PrizePicks is a skill-based, real-money, daily fantasy sports game where you select 2 to 6 players and guess if they will hit more or less than their projection, and if you get it right, you can win. Plus, with their new Demons and Goblins lines, you can win up to 100 times your original entry. Obviously, we're all basketball fans here, but PrizePicks has almost every sport you can think of available to choose from and play. To add to the fun, they also offer frequent bonuses, discounts, and weekly promotions, such as Taco Tuesday and Flex Friday, plus so many more specialty free spaces to watch for throughout the year, so you don't want to miss those. For today's slate of games, I'm going with RJ Barrett to score over 18.5 points, Chet Holmgren to make over 1.5 threes, and Grayson Allen to make over 2.5 threes in this week's entry. To sign up, go down to the link in the description of this video and use promo code REFERENCE when you sign up to get a deposit match bonus of up to $100. Once again, thank you to PrizePicks for sponsoring the video. Now let's get back to the topic at hand. The first take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Torres, and he says that Julius Randle being out is actually better for the Knicks' playoff chances, based on how he usually performs in the playoffs. This season, the Knicks have been one of the most aggressive teams in the league with the moves they've made, looking to go all in on a deep playoff run, and for a brief period after the dust settled on their big trade, they were completely healthy and looking like they were about to take control of the Eastern Conference. After bringing in OG Anunoby, they immediately caught fire, winning 12 of his first 14 games with the team, including dominant wins over the Nuggets, 76ers, Heat, and Timberwolves in that stretch, and the advanced metrics during that stretch showed that the Knicks' new-look starting lineup had the best net rating in the league together. They were rolling, and the chemistry with their new big three of Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, and OG Anunoby was forming flawlessly, but then, of course, injuries struck and ruined everything. Both Randle and Anunoby suffered injuries around the same time, throwing off all of their momentum, and as this take states, they just got some really unfortunate news. Despite Randle's best efforts to rehab his shoulder and get back onto the court as soon as possible, he was unsuccessful, and now he's going to have to get surgery on it, which is officially shutting him down for the remainder of the year. On top of that, OG Anunoby tried to return from his elbow injury a few weeks ago, only for him to re-injure it after just 3 games, and now there's no guarantee he'll be at full strength for the playoffs either. The thing about the original take here is that yes, Julius Randle has been one of the worst all-star playoff performers in the entire league over the last few seasons, but removing him altogether doesn't necessarily just make the Knicks better out of nowhere. In order for the Knicks to actually be contenders, they need Randle on his A-game, which I understand has historically not happened in the playoffs, but whenever the conversation of the Knicks needing to move on from Randle comes up, the implication is that they would be replacing him with another all-star caliber player. You can't simply just remove his 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists per game without any replacement and improve, and the Knicks have learned that in his absence, as they were just 1 game behind the second place Bucks when he went down, and now the Knicks are down to 5th place in the East, trending in the wrong direction. The next take we'll be discussing today comes to us from User, and he says that the Bradley Beal trade actually made the Suns worse, not better. The Bradley Beal trade in hindsight is actually quite a conundrum. On paper, the Suns really didn't have to give up that much in order to acquire him in the actual trade itself. They gave up Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, some second-round picks, and multiple first-round pick swaps, but no actual first-round picks, which all in all isn't that bad for someone of Beal's caliber. The problems, though, came with the ramifications of the trade regarding their cap space and future flexibility because of it. Beal's contract, to put it lightly, is a behemoth, making an average of $50 million per year, with 3 more years left on the deal after this season. The contract itself is already starting to age like milk, but with him now on a team where he only needs to be a high-level third option, it takes less pressure off of him to perform at an all-star level night in and night out. But on the flip side, the amount of money tied up to the team's big 3 best players on the team severely hampered their ability to build a balanced roster throughout, and an injury to any of their big 3 of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal would lead to a lot of trouble for this top-heavy squad. Well, surprise surprise, injuries have in fact struck, with Devin Booker missing a decent chunk of games early on in the year, and Bradley Beal having missed 29 games already because of his nagging back issues, and when he's been on the court, he just hasn't looked like the all-star that he used to be. The Suns are in just 6th place in the Western Conference, and are definitely at risk of falling into the play-in tournament, which just is not good enough for a team that entered the year with championship or bust aspirations. They've exhausted most of their available assets to put this team together, they don't have many more avenues to explore to improve themselves moving forward, and if a fringe playoff team that gets eliminated in the first round is all they end up having to show for it at the end of the year, then the Beal trade would absolutely go down as a regret. And finally, the last take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Paul, and he says that Domantas Sabonis is the most underrated player in the NBA bar none. The unfortunate thing about Domantas Sabonis taking his game to new heights is the fact that it's coming at the same time as Nikola Jokic doing everything he does but better. It may sound harsh, but that is 100% why he doesn't get the attention and praise for his unreal production across the board. He's putting up 20 points, a league-leading 14 rebounds, and 8 assists per game this season, shooting the ball 60% from the field. For a big man to be as skilled of a passer as he is, while also being a dominant post scorer and a vacuum on the glass, is unprecedented, and ever since his arrival in Sacramento, it's not a coincidence they've immediately become playoff contenders after being the team with the longest playoff drought prior to him being brought in. When you see a guy like Nikola Jokic scoring 27 points per game, while also being amongst the league leaders in rebounds and dishing out 9 assists per game, it does admittedly make what Sabonis is doing look less impressive, but that doesn't mean it's not still incredibly impressive. It also doesn't help that Sacramento isn't exactly a major market in the public eye on a regular basis, but in general, yes, I think I can get on board with this take that Sabonis is the most underrated in the NBA. I'm struggling to think of anyone in the league producing at a higher level without getting the credit for it like Sabonis is doing, and if he really wants to change that tune, he is going to need to lead the Kings on a deep playoff run. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about the takes discussed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.